Welcome back, sports fans. All right, in this next video, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to take advantage of this very simple paper tape to help us to understand how to navigate the inch, which is what this exercise is all about, is being able to identify what those weird little tick marks are between each of the numbers on your tape measure. Once again, this represents an expanded version of the inch that is between each of the big, bold numbers on your tape measure. So when somebody asks you to measure something, you don't report back to them that it measures 14 and 3 little ticks. You can actually identify it as 5/16, 3/4, 1/8, or so on, wherever it may be. And again, once we spoke about this before, in the wood shop, we'll go down to a 16th, and that's very rare. 1/8 is generally where we like to end up. 1/64ths, 1/32, those are numbers for the machine shop, and you can check with Mr. Underhill for those measurements and how to navigate between that, because he goes much, much smaller than we will in the wood shop. So, you'll hopefully be familiar with this sheet right here. Let me make sure this is showing up on the camera. I will upload this as well. There is a practice sheet that we've given out, and when you returned it, I reviewed it, and some of you have had a bit of trouble navigating this. So we have an upcoming quiz. This one's for the money, this one's for the marks. So if you've done your early one, it's been an opportunity for you to practice, or at least get out there the idea that I'm struggling with this, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'll reach out to some of you and we'll actually get to the bottom of anything you may have some troubles with. But what basically this works, how this basically works, is you take a fraction. For instance, the one in the top left corner of the practice sheet here says 3/8 plus 7/16. So that's 3/8 plus 7/16. If we take this over to our paper tape and we use it in the board game style fashion that I've been telling you guys about, we'll begin at 3/8, which is right here. We've identified that by reducing the fraction of 6/16. That goes down to 3/8. And we begin at 3/8. We're adding 7/16. And the way this works is we know that because this paper tape has divided this piece of paper up into 16 equal parts, this section right here, this distance, is equal to 1/16 of the entire inch, or in this case, the entire expanded inch. So this measurement from 0 to here is a 16th. And this measurement from here to here is 1/8, which is 2/16, so 1/2. And you can see at the bottom we've reduced the 2/16 down to 1/8. They're an equivalent, 2/16 or 1/8. It means exactly the same thing. So when we are starting at 3/8 and we are adding 7/16, navigating between the markings on your tape measure are as simple as counting to the right 7/16 spaces. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ending up at 13/16, which is what our answer is. 13/16 is what you get when you add 3/8 and 7/16 together. Let's take one more. This will be a subtraction. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take 1/2 minus 4/8. Okay? 1/2 minus 4/8. So we go back to our paper tape measure and we begin at 1/2, otherwise known as 8/16, reduced down to 1/2. 1/2 minus 4/8. Now, if we refer back to the beginning, we know that an 1/8 is equal to 2 of these small spaces, or 2/16. And since we're taking away 4 of this distance, 4/8, we're going to begin at 1/2 and take away 4/8, or 2. Look at me flubbing through. We're going to take away 4/8, or which is the equivalent of 8/16. So we count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we have 1/2 minus 4/8, we get 0. So what I want you guys to do is be able to navigate back and forth, counting with units of measurement or spaces equal to either 8s, 16ths, quarters, or halves. Because that's really Well, the most important thing when you're navigating back and forth along a tape measure, you have to know how to navigate in between the inches. And if you can do that, you can avoid becoming like my old apprentice, Bob, who gave me the 14 and 3 little ticks answer to when I asked him to go measure something. Anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any further questions, just let me know.